This is Feed Your Mind. So there's a new movie out available to rent. It was previously in the theaters just a few months ago, but now it's available to rent. It's called The Exorcism, and it stars Russel Crowe. And so as you're watching this movie, you can see that this is a sequel to his previous movie called The Pope's Exorcist. Now, it's interesting. I just did a video on the Pope, and I just did a video on a movie called The Deliverance starring Monique. So both of those videos you might want to go back and check out because they kind of go with this, what I'm saying right now about this new movie with Russel Crowe, because, well, in the movie, it's basically showing you a sequel in a way that hasn't really been done before, because it's not a direct sequel to The Pope's Exorcist. It's actually a sequel that's showing you that Russel Crowe was playing a character in the previous movie. And so in this movie, they're showing that as he was reading his lines, he ends up becoming possessed from reading his lines and playing that character and getting into character for that role. So the movie's taking a spin on basically like how they're saying in the movie, they'll say, well, there were some strange things that happened on the set of The Exorcist and Poltergeist and stuff like that. And that's exactly what they were saying with the Deliverance movie on Netflix is, well, as they were filming that, they were saying a lot of strange stuff started happening. So The Deliverance is that movie I was saying I just did a video on. So check out my review on that and get caught up, because, yeah, it was a very eerie movie. It's very creepy. And the way they're saying things were happening on the set, yeah, that's very believable, because, yeah, that movie was based on a true story as well. So on top of them playing the roles in that movie, it was also based on a true story. So with this Russel Crowe movie called The Exorcism, well, you know, they're taking a spin on all that. So they're showing us that this is actually taking place behind the scenes. It's almost like they're showing us what's really going on some of these horror movie sets, because in this movie, that's what this is all about. So it's not a documentary film or anything. It's an actual movie. You know, it's a theatrical release, but they're playing on the idea that things can happen on the set from playing these characters. And it's like they're trying to show us that this does happen. It's like it's a warning. And I've been saying this for years, actually, how actors should probably be careful, because the roles they play, you never know what they're going to get themselves into. We saw what happened with Heath Ledger. We saw weird stuff happen to Bruce Lee's son with the filming of The Crow. And there's been a lot of movies, actually, and I can't recall them all off the top of my head, but if you do a little research, you can see there has been strange things that happen to some of these actors who play these roles. And so when they play these roles, they're getting into character, but what are they really doing? Because like I was telling you all about in my previous video on Path to Success, I was explaining how your words matter and how your words can actually manifest things. So when these actors are getting into these roles and they're reading their lines, especially in this Russel Crowe movie, The Exorcism, well, you know, he's reading lines where he's doing these strange rituals, and, you know, he's trying to exorcise these fallen ones out of people and stuff, and he's getting into this character. And so you got to be careful when you're taking on these roles, and, you know what I'm saying, these scripts might have some spells encoded in them. So as you're rehearsing your lines, who knows if these lines are something you should even be saying. You probably shouldn't, because a lot of times I find myself muting the movie if they start saying some crazy stuff, if I'm watching a horror movie or something. So a lot of times I have that mute button right next to me, ready to push that just in case they start saying some strange stuff. You know, when you hear it, it's like you don't want to hear this. And a lot of people don't even watch these types of movies in the first place. But if you do, at least have a mute button around so that you can mute that before they start speaking that crazy stuff into your home. So that's how I watch The Deliverance, and even this one, just in case, you know. So in The Deliverance, I muted the movie when they started speaking in tongues. I told you that in my last video. So yeah, these scripts can be dangerous, and these actors should be careful about the roles they take. But they might not believe in that stuff. But like I said, you got to be careful, because your words have power, and what you speak can manifest in real life. And this is an example of it with this Russell Crowe movie. He was reading his lines, and in the movie, he started acting real strange. I think that was his daughter or something that was living with him at the time, and he started, being in the dark a lot, Russell Crowe, and, people are wondering, like, is he getting into his character or is something really wrong with him? You know what I'm saying? It was pretty clear that something was wrong with him, and especially towards the end of the movie. Now, I don't want to spoil it, but I guess I will. So this is your warning. In case you haven't seen the movie, you might want to exit this video and come back to it later, because I'll probably be spoiling some stuff. And so basically in the movie, towards the end, Russell Crowe, it got real bad as they were filming the set and things started happening. And it wasn't just him that ended up being possessed. It was also, they had a pastor on the set to help Russell Crowe with his character. So when he was first doing his lines, the director kept saying, well, I don't believe you're doing these lines well enough. I want you to do it over, do it over. He kept telling him to do it over. So he basically said he's not feeling his acting. And so Russell had to go home and really get into character. And then people started noticing he was doing some strange stuff. He started really looking possessed, and people started being concerned, and stuff started happening on the set. So at that point, it was like he had became fully possessed. And before they realized that, they were wondering, like, is he method acting? Is he just really getting into character? Like, they say some characters, like the Joker, there was another incident with Jared Leto. When he played his role, he started acting real strange and sending people rats, you know what I'm saying, and doing all types of weird stuff on the set, getting into character. They call it method acting, where they don't really get out of character. And people even said this about Tupac. They were saying he wasn't really like that, but he became that after that role of Bishop. And they're saying they could no longer tell the difference between his character and the real Tupac Shakur. They're saying, actually, this isn't Tupac anymore. This is Bishop now. They're saying in real life, and it never went away. So I believe this stuff does happen. I mean, an actor is playing a very dangerous game, I believe, because they're dealing with their personalities, and you don't know what you're opening yourself into, taking on different roles and characters. That character could end up becoming you. And if that happens, people are wondering, okay, is this psychological? Is this like something where you just need some type of psychic evaluation or something? Or is this a form of demonic possession? And I would say most likely it's demonic possession. Now, it could sometimes be some type of mental breakdown, some type of mental episode, but what really is mental episodes anyways? Because I covered that in previous videos as well, with mental episodes, and if these are linked to demonic possessions sometimes. So with these characters playing these roles, with these actors that get into character and they method act, who knows if you're really opening yourself up to something, or if you're even channeling a being. You know what I'm saying? You might be opening yourself up to channeling being by putting yourself into these roles. So I did come across a lot of different clips and different actors speaking on this, and they did admit that they actually start channeling characters, especially if they're playing a role of a previously past character, maybe a biopic or something, where they're taking on the role of an icon or something that is no longer alive, and they take on that role. Who knows if they're channeling something there? You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to channeling, it's demonic, because you're not really communicating with the deceased person. You're communicating with a demon that's imitating that deceased person. So you're dealing with some very dangerous stuff at that point. And if these actors are actually open to channeling different entities in order to play a role, then they're really putting themselves in danger for a role. And that brings a new meaning to the idea of selling your soul, because do they know that sometimes they might be selling their soul? And when Aaliyah did that role with the queen of the, you know what, well, that was her last movie, and then she was gone after that. After she performed that role, she was gone. She played a very serious role. So these roles can be dangerous. They might be opening themselves up to demonic possession or attacks from playing these roles. And then a lot of people are saying they don't even watch these movies at all. And so I understand that, but for research purposes, sometimes I watch a good horror movie, and say I find the genre interesting at times because it's dealing with heaven and hell and things like that, where you're seeing examples of what could happen to people. Some people don't believe in possession. Well, I believe it's a real thing. And so with atheists, I think there's plenty of evidence out there that there's something going on when it comes to possession. And you have to be careful out here. So the actors should be careful, and the people viewing the movies should be careful. And so when it comes down to it, this was a very interesting movie. Now, it wasn't the best movie. I'll probably give it a B minus. It might even be a C plus. So, it wasn't like the most the best movie I've seen or anything. It's either a C plus or a B minus though when it comes down to it. I'll probably go with I think a B minus would fit it well. I don't highly recommend it, but if you like horror movies, maybe check it out. And I like the part at the end where Russel Crowe did exorcise a demon out of the pastor, because the pastor that was on the set, just like on the Deliverance movie, there was a pastor on the set of the filming of that movie. Well, in this movie, there was a pastor on the set as well, but that guy ended up being possessed, and he exorcised the demon out of him. He called upon the saints of the Bible, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and everybody, the apostles, the archangels, and Russel Crowe just basically exorcised the demon out of that pastor. And it was on the set while they were filming the movie, so they're acting like this guy was really possessed. And so he called upon, all these names and got rid of that demon. And so it's pretty dramatic how they ended the movie though, because he kind of burst into flames and stuff. Like I said, I was going to spoil the movie, so I gave you a chance to exit this video. But yeah, basically he burst into flames. It was a pretty dramatic ending. And so yeah, that's about it for today. Let me know what you think about everything in the comment section. I'm gonna leave some links for you if you want to do more research with me on secrets in movies and stuff like that. So also make sure you check out my Deliverance video and my Pope video as well. You'll find that very interesting because it's kind of related to this video. And that's about it. So please like, and let's get at least 500 likes per video if we can. Also make sure you share the video. I'll leave some links to my other channels, my social media, my Feed Your Mind store, my free email newsletters, and much more. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep the channel online by becoming a YouTube member or by becoming a monthly patron. So that's about it for today. This has been Feed Your Mind, signing off.